Welcome to another video. My name is Kate or Sarai, and today we will do a flip through of May and June in my Take Note A5 journal. Now, you might hear a bit of background noise. That's because it is now almost 7 p.m. and it's a warm day. It's like 30 degrees Celsius. So the house is open, the windows are open, the birds are chirping. I'm very happy, but you know, you'll probably hear some background noise. So let's start at the start of these pages. This is my tracker for workouts. You'll see that there is not that much workout going on in May and June. I have a good excuse. I was extremely busy with life, and somewhere around here, I think my energy level started dropping significantly, and I got my burnout symptoms back. So I decided to take a little bit of a break, just take it slow and put in a lot of rest. I know some people will say, oh, even if you're feeling really tired, you should work out. That doesn't work out for me. I have. Haha, funny. Sorry. I learned over the past year that I really need rest and my body will ask for rest and I must rest. So I rested. I also got sick, so that didn't help. But I think now at the end, we're at the final day of June today. I think it's getting better. So maybe in July, I'll be able to get some more workouts in. Okay, now for the monthly overview. This was May. In May, my mom was in the Netherlands, so I had quite some meetups with her. I met up with her mostly on Fridays, but also some Saturdays. And oh, it was also Dutch pen show. It feels like forever, but the Dutch pen show also happened. We had a friend staying over at our house. I had some work travel. It was quite busy. And then for June, you'll see that the weekdays are relatively empty, except for being sick. But then again, in the weekends, it was rather busy because it was a Dutch pen show. We went to a Pokemon card show. My mom went back home. And then I had some personal events stuff that happened. So all in all, I got in some rest during the week. Well, and a mandatory rest when I was sick because I didn't work that week. But yeah, that's June. You'll see that the decorations are quite minimal. I have been in a, again, low energy means less time for journaling and decorating. So I've been keeping everything simple and trying to just capture the vibe rather than filling up all of the white space. But also, I love white space, and you guys also know that. I think January and February were the most decorated, and now in the past couple of months, it's been a lot less. Anyway, let's go to the daily pages. This is the week of, oops, too much, from April to May. So the first part, it wasn't the previous flip through video I posted on YouTube, and this is the part afterwards. My mom and I went to Keukenhof, which is the big tulip garden in the Netherlands. She hadn't been there for many years, and it was on her. I really want to do that, so I surprised her with tickets, and we went. It was very fun, very busy because it's a super touristy place in the Netherlands, but it was very fun. On Saturday, we went to Utrecht, which is another Dutch city, and I met up with a friend. You know, when you have parents that live overseas, they hear about your friends, but they haven't met them. So when my mom visits, there's a chance for her to meet all of the people she hears about but has never seen yet. So we met up. Again, like I mentioned previously, May and June were low energy months. So you'll see a lot of pages that were pre-decorated. So most of these pages were pre-decorated. Usually on Sundays, I sit down with a drink and some stationary YouTubers. And while I watch their videos, I slowly decorate my pages. and imagine sort of what it will look like in the coming week. Like, will it be a busy week? Do I need to leave more space for journaling? Or will it be a calm week? So, on some moments, I decided, on Tuesdays, I usually go to the office. I won't journal, but on Wednesday, I will journal for both days. So, I can just decorate over Tuesday and then write the entries on Wednesday. You will see this happen a lot. Anyway, this is a raw market tape. I only had one loop of. It's an amazing tape, and I kind of want to buy the whole roll. If you know me, I'm very careful with my stationery purchases. I try not to impulse buy. So this one is I'm sleeping on it, but I really want it. Um, so this is the Monday to Wednesday, and this is then Thursday to Sunday. You'll see the same tape being used, but there's also some sort of fern tape here. They combine very well. This is also some sort of fern tape. I think this is peon. This is also peon. If you have tapes with the right vibes, you can combine them and it looks like they always belong together. But they're different tapes. Also, the idea of the colored lines coming from an edge of the page, you can see that here as well. I stole that idea from what's their username? As Asset Plans. I will write it right there and link them in the bio. They occasionally share some really beautiful pictures of their commonplace, and I was really inspired by it. So I decided to capture their aesthetic a little bit in my journal. And then we go to the third-ish week of May. This is from Camille, and this is a bit of a Camille-inspired theme, Lunaire. I think at this point, if you watch Hello Naya or Medi, you've probably heard of Camille. We're both obsessed with her. And Camille made this paper ephemera for me. I had it in my stats forever. So I was like, you know what? It feels like a Camille week. So it's a bit of Camille inspired, the flowers with the stamps. It's a thing. But obviously with a Kate flair with a lot of white space. You'll see a huge entry here in my purchases column. This is normally where I track purchases that I make or Happy Meal that I receive. I bought a pair of shoes that I'm really in love with, and um, I love them. Unfortunately, I haven't worn them that much because the weather got warm and it's a bit of a cold weather shoe. But I'm not excited for autumn, but at least I have something to look forward to when it gets cold again and I can wear those shoes. I don't remember what these entries were about, but I do know I wrote about the shoes here. And then you can see a lot of these entries where I just do not have any energy left to journal. This Miss Bulat stamp, let me get it. This one, this is my most used stamp for my low energy days. Really a amazing stamp. So I used it there. I suspect that this is either a Sunday. I'm pretty sure that this is a Sunday entry because some days I just lay in the couch and I don't do anything. And then you don't have anything to journal about. So that's also fine. I think that tells a story by itself. I'm not scared of leaving spaces empty. Plus, if you leave space empty, the decoration has its moment to shine. So okay, so this week is slightly different. Maybe I should have also said this, but May was a green ink theme, and so May was green and June is purple. You can find these ink recipes, well, for the custom ink mix. You can find it on my Instagram, FYI. So you have to keep that in mind when looking at these pages. So May is a green theme, and I was going through my stationery stash and I found these, what are they called? Our Studio olive branches that I bought many years ago. And I was like, you know what? It's finally time. I should really, really try to use these stickers. So I made a theme around these olive branches with Modaichi. Some of these stems that I own, and some of them are stem swatches that I got from either Medi or Eleonora. I wouldn't be able to tell you which one came from which person. I just know that they're really nice enough to swatch their stems on paper for me, and I can cut it out and use it as stickers. And I always feel like Modaichi combines very well with nature elements. Maybe that's a Camille thing that I've internalized because she does it all the time. This is another, I think, raw market PT tape. I do not know the brand of this frame. There's also a white frame here. And this grit PT tape is from Yohaku. Yeah, so you'll see a lot of cursive. I've really been into cursive writing. I really like how cursive looks in a thin nib in black ink. It's just, oh, so perfect. Like you look at these pages and it just brings joy. At least for me, like I look at them and I'm like, yes, this feels like true journaling. So that's what I've been doing. And also it's really nice if you're low energy. You have one pen, you grab the pen, you write. It's great. This was the week where we got guests, and it's also the week of the Dutch pen show. And I decided, okay, no, I went on my Instagram in my saved post and I was scrolling through it and I saw posts of James. I will again link the username of this person here. And they use like rounded shapes and oval shapes. I was like, you know what? That's a shape that I rarely use in my journals. And I found this crinkled piece of paper that I had a little bit of. And I was like, you know what? YOLO, let's do it. Let's go for it. So I cut out two circles. So this is the full circle. You can see that I wrote very slanted and I do not like how this looks, but you cannot undo on paper. So I have to live with it. It's fine. Okay, anyway, let's go here. I do like this. I cut the circle up in half. I decorated with floral elements and some layering texture pieces. So this is again Yohaku. And this is Naira design with some peon, some sort of fern. Yes, I think that's it. And there's some stamps. That's a stamp, and this is from Hello Naya and Plant with Chila collaboration. And then I just again wrote in black ink in cursive, but then I added the first letter of the day, no, of my entry, and here the day in my colored ink. And I thought that would give a nice pop of color, merge the two themes from green to purple. And I just really like how this page turned out. Like, while this one really wasn't that big of a success, I think because it feels unbalanced, this one is just perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to achieve with this theme. So, yeah, this is the Dutch pen show. I have been asked what I think about the Dutch pen show. It's fine. If you're like me, I mean, I have fountain pens. I love my fountain pens, but I also do not buy any pens anymore because I feel like I have enough pens. If you go to a fountain pen show where the main aim is to sell or buy fountain pens and you are not in the market for any, it makes for a very interesting experience. But it was nice to see CY and Annabelle again after it's been like 6 or something months since I've seen them. So it was nice to see them, to chat with them. Annabelle and I were up to no good. But I got some nib grinds. So Annabelle ground me in this Decimo, a architect nib. And CY ground me a custom nib that is tailored to my own handwriting. It doesn't have a name, but it's a custom grind. He just did something for me and it's perfect. So that's the story of the Dutch pen show in a nutshell. And now we are in June. This is still the first week of June, so I still had a house guest and my mom. It was my mom's final week in the Netherlands. You'll see that I am exhausted and I was really low energy. I was listening to a lot of dubstep. Now, I know dubstep is a very polarizing category of music or genre of music. I really like it, and I particularly listen to it when I'm either low energy or I need some motivation. And I was low energy and was like, the only thing that can keep me awake and focused is dubstep. So I listened to a bunch of dubstep this week. If you have any recommendations, please slide into my DMs. Oh, you'll also see the circular theme continued. So from this week, I was like, oh, nice, circles work. And I have this Yohaku tape that has these colored circles. Sorry. So I used it for this theme, and they are dispersed for every single day. So there should be, there's one for every single day. Nothing special to say here. We went to a Pokemon a card show where trading cards are exchanged. You can buy them. We are mostly into Pokemon, at least my partner is. That's basically this day. We went to a Pokemon card trading show. It was very fun. I saw some really expensive cards. I don't understand why someone would pay 4,500 for a card, but hey, I'm not gonna judge people as a stationary person. Let's not talk about the prices of stationery. Anyway, on the Sunday, my mom left the Netherlands. Unfortunately, it was also a holiday, and there was no public transport that early in the morning, so I could not go to the airport to say goodbye to her, which is unfortunate, but at least I saw her on Thursday. It was a really messed up week with public transport and stuff, and we saw and said goodbye to each other here, and that was it. She's safely back home, and she says it feels like she's never even come to the Netherlands. She had a great time. She enjoyed her time. Now, June is already a warmer month in the Netherlands. It also becomes sunnier. And I want to say inky fountain pen, but I am not very certain. Someone gifted me a loop of this tape. It has shadow. At least it looks like dappled light, shadow. This is a phenomenon that happens mostly in summer here. I really love it. Just seeing it makes me happy. Like if we're going for a walk to the park and I see the dappled light, or if I sit here in my room and the tree here behind, there's like a huge tree here behind our apartment. And when the sun is low enough, there's dappled light in my room. This just brings me so much joy. So I thought that since this was a sunnier week, maybe it would have been fun to capture the feeling that I had with this tape in my pages. So I used this is Sailor 252. Yes, Sailor Ink Studio 252. That's what I used for writing, and I combined it with this tape and some sort of fern people. And again, it was summery weather, so I did wear like similar clothes, and it didn't really rain, but this is pre-decorated, okay? I made a prediction and didn't particularly come true in terms of rain, but it worked. I really like this feeling. It brings me joy. I mean, I don't exactly know what these entries say right now. I don't want to read them, but just looking at this page, it really just brings me the joy that summer usually brings me of dappled light, warm weather, and just sunlight. This is the week where I was sick, so where I didn't work. I decorated this while I was already sick, and I already had a feeling that, I might not have energy to journal. Like, for example, on Tuesday, I remember I spent the entire day in the couch doing nothing, well, except for sleeping, because I was just feeling so sick. So these entries are short and they are very messy. At least in my opinion, this is very messy. You can tell that the spacing is off here for what I wrote. It says, be kind to yourself, which is hilarious because I'm like complaining about how messy my entry is, but I'm also telling myself to be kind to myself. Anyway, you know how it is. We journal to capture our days, but we also tend to journal for aesthetics. Anyway, this is kind of messy. I was sick. It's fine. It also says something. But then at the end of the week on Thursday, I already went back to work. Well, I work from home, so I just worked and it was fine. I was feeling okay. And these entries are also just a lot better. Uh, yeah, I have not much to say. Oh, and this is the summer solstice, the 21st of June. That's normally when the summer solstice happens, so that's why I put a summer solstice paper ephemera. I do not know the brand. Do I? No, I do not recall the brand. But I added it to capture the summer solstice, and we went on a walk through the park. It was really beautiful weather, like 30 degrees, similar as today. Really great. So yeah, that was this week. And then we go to last week. I had inked my Decimo up with Sailor 252, and I felt like I hadn't really written a lot with it, so except for this week. So I was like, you know what? We need another week where we just write in the purple ink and just appreciate the ink for what it looks like. And I went in Adobe Color something. It's Adobe CC, Adobe Color something, whatever it's called. And you can take a picture of a color and then it will give you the complementary colors. And one of the complementary colors I found for this purple ink was an orange. So it's like, you know what? Purple and orange are complementary. We're going to combine these two, like this tape with this ink. And honestly, I love it. I love how because this Decimona has an architect grind. I just love how the architect grind, the capital letters or print letters combined with the aesthetics of this tape. Like it's minimal, but also it has an extra, using complementary colors just has a fun impact, I think the word would be. You guys understand what I mean. So I also did these pages on stream. So if you want to watch how I fill out these pages, you can find it on my Twitch channel. It should be visible for like a month after I upload this YouTube video. But yeah, these pages very fun. I loved it. I really like how the theme turned out very minimal. I like the decoration and the writing and how it just interacts with each other. And today is the 30th. There's no entry because, well, the day hasn't ended yet. And like we can see, I've also pre-decorated because that just works for me right now in my life. But yeah, that's a flip through of the past 2 months in my journal. Lots of memories, lots of writing, but also lots of low energy moments, which is fine. And then let's go to the back where I track my watched music and listened or read. This was supposed to be my books tracker where I write down what physical books that I read, but I got a subscription to a audiobook service and now I listen to books. So this list is now steadily increasing. I found out that with my lifestyle and all of the hobbies I have, I don't have time to read, to sit down and read. So I'd rather listen to a audiobook while I knit, for example, or do the laundry or clean. So this is working a lot better for me than sitting down and reading. While I was sick, I watched two K-dramas. I watched, Word of Honor and The King's Avatar. Very fun series. They still got 3 stars because they didn't capture my attention that much, but I think the story was fine. Three out of 5 stars is not bad. And we watched the animated Transformers series. I really love Transformers. It's like one of the nostalgic childhood things for me, together with Pirates of the Caribbean. If you have any book recommendations, let me know. I usually do nonfiction, But if you have a fiction book that I must read, let me know and I'll see if I can find the audiobook version on my audiobook subscription. Yeah, that's it. That's in a nutshell what my 2 months were like. These are my 5-year journal that I don't share online, but that one is steadily, it's updated, it's perfectly fine. And then I have my personal planner and my work planner. I am using them well for personal life and for work. So everything is going fine. I am very satisfied with my system. And I'm also excited for September, where we can think of or buy new systems for next year, which I'm already thinking about. But we will keep that for September musings. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a nice week. Stay hydrated, take good care of yourself, and I'll see you next month. Bye bye.